Hello and welcome back to From the Source podcast, episode 4. As usual, I'll start this episode by saying a big thank you to everyone who's liked, shared, followed the Instagram, followed on the YouTube, watched any of the videos that have been across Instagram or YouTube. Thank you very much for doing that and continuing to support the podcast. TikTok, when this episode goes live on Monday, there'll be a podcast TikTok which will show like little clips about the episodes, similar to what's on Instagram, but I'm basically going to be doing that as a bit of a raw marathon type plan, just showing my running coming along for kind of the journey. Obviously, as we know, running is more and more common now. So please follow that as well. Obviously, we've got the Strava Run Club. We're now in double figures with members on that. So anyone who wants to join, anyone who just kind of wants to compare themselves on leaderboards and stuff like that, please join that as well. I'm looking to do like some giveaways and stuff on the Strava, try and get more people involved, and obviously do some meetups and stuff. So please join that if you want to join that. So, and all of that kind of leads me in conveniently to today's episode, which, if anyone's got any form of social media, they'll see running videos all over the place. So I thought this was quite convenient. So kind of this episode is about the fear of running, overcoming that fear. If a lot of you are new to running and want to get involved but don't know how to, never ran before, scared to, don't know where to run and stuff, this episode might hit home a bit more for you. So listen up. I'm not a pro runner, but I run a lot, and I know a lot of people who do run, and I like to listen to them. So, yeah. So first part is kind of, why is that fear of running more common than what you think? Loads of conversation I have with people that are, afraid to just, even when no one's watching, just get out the door, their own house, and just walk, run, do 2-3K and go home. This isn't even about like putting on Strava and getting the watch and stuff, but there is people that will go out there and say, next week I'm going to start running, buy all the gear, the watch, the clothes, the shoes, and then still have this fear of like running, about the embarrassment of doing it. So a lot of people are scared to start running, and they're worried that they're going to be judged for being too slow, kind of starting and stopping because they're getting injured or they're not liking it, feeling judged for kind of like what they're wearing. I feel like there is some people out there that will scrutinize your Strava or scrutinize your running gear, because you can just go out in a shitty pair of shoes if you want to and just not even dress up in like nice clothes. But people kind of, it's like schoolyard stuff. They like pick on you for like what you're wearing and stuff. One thing I will say is just, it does not matter what you wear. At the end of the day, you could have literally all the best gear and be horrendous at running, but kind of train all the time. So it doesn't really matter. Probably an easy one to get over that point is to just, I'm not plugging the run club here, but any run club that anyone has in their local area, just join. There's a couch to 5Ks. There's loads of things. Park run is like a great one to start with. You kind of just get lost in the crowd, so no one will even really know what speed you're running at, or really care. There's quite a lot of people that just do that for the social, and I think that's a big thing, is that to overcome that fear, I think, is to look at going out and running as more of a social thing, not being so focused on like, want these split times, want a 5K to come down, want all this. You put so much pressure on yourself. Just get out with a few of your mates or join a run club and just get to it. I want to acknowledge that this fear of running is, this is for like anyone probably new to running, is totally normal. Like, I really want to like normalize that, because obviously, as always, I can only speak for myself, but I have the fear of running more often than I think, and probably more than what I let people know. And my fear is like the tough sessions. It's so easy for me now to just be like, oh, I'll go out and do a 12K easy. But like a 10K tempo at hard speed, that's my fear now. Or it's something you just get past, and once you realise, or once you start that session, you're like, why did I even worry about it? Especially when you finish, you feel amazing, and you just think, that was just silly for me to think like that. So please understand that it's totally normal, and I'm just encouraging you to just get out there and just walk 500 meters, run 500 meters, walk 500 meters, run 500 meters, and do that till you get to 10K, or no, sorry, 5K, even just a K, and then come back the next day and build from that. And obviously, like I mentioned before, the big fear for runners, new runners, is social media and this massive comparison culture that, I mean, I'm a big advocate of Strava and Runner and all the watches and stuff we all wear, but there's also a negative to that, and it's made this real comparison culture, like I said, more common, and scrutinizes just newbie runners. So just be mindful of that. Just train and don't put it on Strava. You don't have to, or put it on Strava and don't follow anyone or let anyone follow you for a while until you're confident. It's really easy. But that falls into the next point I have, which is about kind of shifting that mindset of the fear of running and solely treat it like it should be. It's a solo thing. I've mentioned on the previous episodes about like no one watches you all the time. No one can see what you've been through each run. So treat it as a personal challenge to yourself to get better, and not just like some form of punishment. And what I mean by that is, if you're just starting off and you're saying you want to run 3 times a week, and for whatever reason 1 week you can't and you run twice, don't punish yourself, which was common for me to do. And I would think, well, next week I'm going to add that 1 session on, and next week I'm going to do 4 instead of 3. Like, that week's gone. That 1 session you've missed isn't going to change the world and turn you into an elite runner overnight, or you're going to like fall off a cliff in terms of your fitness. So don't punish yourself with it, because that's probably one thing that'll turn you off from carrying on that journey that you wanted to start running on. Celebrate small wins, which every single runner is not doing or doesn't do. So that PB for the first time on your first mile, or your first K, or your 5K, be it if it's slow in your eyes or slow in everyone else's eyes, it's still a win. That Sunday you weren't going to do anything and you've gone out and you've done 5K at whatever pace. That's a win. So treat all them as wins and celebrate the fact that, one, you look at your plan, you show up consistently. Might not be on the same day each week, but you're doing your sessions each week. I think treating that as like a win is a big thing to carry on that entire plan, because there will be some weeks where you'll struggle mentally. You won't want to go out, your body's sore. But I think I've always thought that consistency will just drive you on, because you'll just get to a point where you'll be like, this just feels good now. Why do I want to let it fall off? Keep feeling like I'm going to hiccup or something. And you don't want to put all that work in and just fall off. So show up consistently and celebrate every small win along the way. I found this little quote online. It's not really much of a quote, but it just says, don't let a negative self-talk stop you. Replace "I'm not a runner" with "I'm working on it." And that, me saying that, obviously, it just sounds super corny. But when you first start, that's what you need to be saying to yourself. You might not be a runner at the minute because you just started, but you're potentially going to be a runner. Just follow all the people on social media that are confident, that relate to your personality, for example, about running, and follow them, because I see some videos of people that have been running for a whole year and they look completely different. Not just physically, but like they're just happier, they're healthier, skin looks better, all of that stuff. So they're still working on it. They're not runners, but they are a runner. There's people out there that only class themselves as runners if they can do like sub 2.5 hour marathon and do like a 15-minute 5K. They're just living on another planet. So if you're just starting, use the mindset of just, I'm working on it. And I put about keeping like a journal and tracking your progress and boosting your confidence. And that may work for some people. That, me personally, it didn't work for me. I would just forget to write stuff in and all of that lot. But if you get yourself if you get yourself like a running watch that then links to Strava, that's pretty much your journal. And there's a little trick on Strava that if you don't want people to see your runs, you can actually make them all private and stuff. And then once you're a better runner, you can unprivatize them all and whatever. But yeah, just track them on Strava. It literally, I think it's like $5.99 a month if you wanted to do the premium, and it tracks your progress. It'll help you train. Strava have just bought Runner, which is the running plan that I go on about. So potentially there'll be running plans on there and stuff like that. But if you buy a Chorus watch like I've got, they customize your own plans on the app on there. So just track that progress, because it'll actually be good to see those weeks where you feel like you're not getting anywhere, but actually you still are. So if you're watching this or listening to this as a first time runner, start small. And kind of my go-to word is obviously start small and be consistent. So a little tip, like I said, you can use like a run walk method. Some people do it by meters, some people do it by time. So 500 on, 500 off, 3 times each, done. 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off, done. And just slowly build that up, and each week maybe do 1K on, 1K off. But then mix up some of the training. So say 1 week you do 1K on, 1K off, and your 1K on is say at 6-minute pace and your off is 7 minutes. Next time, the next week, try and do say 3K all the way through at a pace in the middle of the 6 and the 7. So argument's sake, 6:30, and just try to constantly move for that 3K. and then go back to your on-offs, which is basically what we all do, as or all the pros do, is like big time runners. It's just like an interval session. And then you just need an easy run, a few easy runs throughout the week. So that could be when you first start, 3K, easy, done, then to 5K, and slowly progress it to there. And the intervals will help you basically get used to running at a quicker speed for shorter distance, and your body weirdly gets used to it. And then when you try and do your easy runs, your body's used to that speed, and then you build it up from there. And then each week, so it's maybe 2 runs for 1 week, do that for a month. This is like a very basic plan. Next month, do 3 runs a week for a month. And basically you want to be each week increasing your total distance for that week by 10 to 15% a week, and just slowly pick it up. Because what most people do is sit at home, want to be a runner, want to start running, do the couch to 5K, get to 5K, and go, well, whatever speed they've done it at, pretty much, I've cracked it. Right now I want to do marathons. And they're starting to try and run like 30, 40K a week, 50K a week, and getting loads of injuries, because you can't just go from not a lot to a lot. So slowly build it up. That's why marathon plans are 16, 20 weeks long. And use that kind of mind frame for a 5K. So you want to build up your 5K pace, or even just a 10K distance. Do it over like a 12 to 14 week plan. But set the simple goals. So 2 runs a week for a month, and slowly build it up, because throughout that, your body's obviously going to be going through a change. You don't want to get loads of like injuries and little niggles. You're probably getting used to like your trainers and everything else that's going on. But start small, build momentum, which basically builds your consistency, and it'll build your confidence in your running. Sorting like all your food out and your nutrition at home, that'll be a big thing, because your body won't be used to it. So you'll need to fuel it. And the big thing is coming back to this fear of running. All of that combined together with the more you run will lessen that fear you initially felt. And all of that can be added to with like I said, the run clubs, just going out with your mates, anything. It'll just build that momentum, and before you know it, you'll look back in it in a year and you'll be, so glad you did it. And making each of your runs, or as many of your runs, as enjoyable as possible. So for any of you out there that know like David Goggins and stuff, you don't need to be going out there now and, doing David Goggins type shit. But he runs with no music because he trains his mind and everything like that. And I've done it a few times, and it is good, because you don't want to rely on your music. What happens if you're always gone out running, and then one time you forget to charge your headphones and they die, and you've got no music, and your body's not used to that, and that'll be a constant torture. So that's separate about training your mind, but make it more enjoyable. So music, a podcast, going out with your friend, or going to a run club, anything that is basically like kid-like, anything that makes the time go faster will help. And you'll be able to run further, run stronger, run with better people, will make you quicker. So yeah, make it more enjoyable for yourself. And go to park runs. Charity races are good. There's loads of where we are, like 10K fun runs and stuff like that. Those will make it better. A lot of people start off by saying they're raising money for charity, and that puts a goal in their mind, because they don't want to let people down that are going to donate and stuff like that. So try and make it as fun as you can for yourself. and just enjoy it. Some days you won't do it. Some weeks you won't enjoy it, but when it all clicks, it is such a nice feeling. So, just get out and start. That's all I would say. Really don't mind what other people say. Listen to what other people say. Just get out there when no one else is out there. Get out early doors, get out late at night. But just get out. The fear is normal, but kind of don't let it stop you. And if you have those small steps, those small runs, they all add up, and kind of with the right mindset to kind of overcome the fear, you'll change over time and things will get better. So please take away from this episode, if you got this far, set a simple goal. For anyone who's listening who's just starting, just set a simple goal of running for the week. Really simple. Like, across the week, run 5k. So split that however you want, a k a day. And then the week after, 10% of that, which would be like 5.5k. So say 6k, and then slowly build it up from there. Share your progress with the podcast. Share the progress with me on all the socials. I'm more than happy to help or give any part of my advice about what helped me. The more people that kind of support each other, the better it is. That's kind of another plug for the Strava run club that we've got for the podcast, which the link for it will be in this episode. But join that. Comment on there. We can just create a community on there of people that have got similar goals or unsure what they want to do or what they want to buy. So just put it all on there. And then we will do the meetups. Once we've kind of got enough people interested, we'll do the meetups, and everyone's more than welcome to come down. New or current runners or old runners, whatever you want to say, come down, have a good time, meet different people, and overcome this fear of running. And that is not just aimed at beginners, that is aimed at everyone. Everyone has a fear of running. Not even if it's not running, it's swimming or cycling or something. There'll be a hard workout or something you don't want to do, or the weather's crap. Anything that will create this fear. And then once the day's done, you'll be like me and you'll sit there and think, I wish I'd just done it. I wish I'd just done it that day and got in bed and felt good. So thanks for listening. Episode 4 is done. Next week's episode, I'm unsure what it'll be, but I've had a few people ask about like diets and what to do around training. So I'll have a think. It might be around something like that. But yeah, thanks for listening. Please like, share, comment on the Instagram and the YouTube, TikTok. Profile will be out when this episode's out. So thank you for the support, and I'll see you on the next one.